If you are a content creator over 40, you probably sometimes feel a little like your parents when it comes to technology. There's so many cool AI tools that are going to make your life easier. Can make things pop, especially if you're creating content. To use some of these AI tools, it's going to elevate your content. But you're probably overwhelmed because there's so many tools you don't even know where to start. So today I'm going to simplify it and I'm going to share with you the 3 easiest, most important AI tools that you must use as a creator or get left behind in 2025, especially if you're over 40. So if you're somebody who needs things taught to you very slowly, like you need someone to sit down right next to you and say like, okay, you're going to click on this button and on that button, and you need to know which apps to use to really make things that much easier for you, this is the episode for you. My name is Chalene Johnson. Welcome to this episode of Build Your Tribe. The first tool that you must really get good at using is Video Leap or CapCut. And if I had to pick one or the other, I think I'd have to pick CapCut. And here's why. CapCut is an editing tool that you can use on either an Android or iPhone, and it makes editing your videos so easy. Now, just a word of motherly advice, older sister advice to you. If you're an entrepreneur, this is like your number one tool, right? You probably don't have an office. You don't have a printer, a copy machine. You have a printer, but you don't have like a big copy machine. You don't have a parking lot in a big office building. Like most entrepreneurs today, we work from our phone. And so whenever I hear someone say like, do they have a free version of the app? I understand that we want to be wise about where it is we spend our money. But when it comes to AI tools, my personal recommendation is do not skimp. Sure, get the free trial version for a couple of days if you're not positive. But if you start using it, get the paid version. The paid version of all of the tools I'm going to share with you today, they're all really well priced, but you just won't get the same tools, the same features, the same ease of use. You won't have access to all the bells and whistles if you're just using the free version. So pay for the CapCut full edition. Trust me, it's going to save you time. It's going to be well worth your investment. Once you're in CapCut, let me show you some of my favorite features. Okay, so let's say we go to CapCut. Now I'm doing this on my desktop. And by the way, they add new features all the time. So let's just say that I am going to ask it to create a script for me for an Instagram reel about the ease of using CapCut and other AI tools for editing your own videos where you don't even have to be the person in the video. All right, so it's going to create a script for me. Once it's done creating the script, then I can pick a narrator. I can actually allow it to narrate the video and to generate all of the images. So let's see. Now, this is going to be kind of crude, but let's check it out and see what we get.
You know, those magical tools that make our lives so much easier, right? Well, let's dive in and see how they can save us time and boost our productivity. So, imagine this. You've just finished a long day of filming, and you're ready to start editing. But wait.
I love the B-roll. I'm not crazy about the voice. You know what I would probably do? I would take the time to record my own voice over it, but I love that it came up with a script and B-roll. So if you're someone who's not comfortable going on camera, don't let that stop you. You don't need to anymore. And that's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to CapCut, Video Leap, and other AI editing tools. My next favorite AI tool is still ChatGPT, and you've got to get real comfortable with using it. This tool should be used multiple times per day. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to pretend that Google does not exist. I'm going to make a prediction for you right now. It won't exist. Not in the way that we know it soon, because open source AI is taking over. You shouldn't go to Google for just about anything anymore. Even if you're like looking for a restaurant recommendation, just go to Google and say, what are the top farm to plate vegan restaurants in Nashville according to influencers in 2024. Like, you can get the most precise information from ChatGPT. But as a content creator, I want you using ChatGPT like it is your full-time, super qualified research assistant and copywriter. Let me show you some of my favorite ways, or share with you some of my favorite ways of using ChatGPT. Recently, I did an episode for my other podcast, The Chalene Show, where we cover health and hormones and things that women are really interested in. We talk about fluff, we talk about reality TV, but we also talk about important things like hormones and medical studies and supplements and how to have optimal health at this age, at any age. And recently I did this episode where I talked about the most important supplements, meaning like vitamins, minerals, that every single woman over 40 should be taking. So I did my research for the first supplement, which was magnesium. And I listed all of the ways that all the places you can find in your food. And I then went to ChatGPT and I said, explain to me all of the different uses for the different types of magnesium, because there's like 15 different types of magnesium. Okay, so I'm going to paste in a message here and giving it instructions. Take the following format and replicate it for vitamin D, iron, vitamin B, omega, zinc, and magnesium. And what I wanted to do is to tell me, like, where do I find these things in foods? Why do you need it? Signs you might be deficient, and the amount recommended for optimal versus standard ranges. Okay, that would take me a couple of hours to research. Let's see how long ChatGPT takes. All right, so there's vitamin D, why we need it. Here's the amounts for standard versus optimal. Now it's doing it for iron, why you need it. Can you see how much time this saves you? And essentially what it's doing is creating for you a script if you want. I mean, there's so many things you can do. I couldn't live without it. Saves me so much time. It was crazy. I was able to do all of that research in about 10 minutes while I was walking outside. It saves you so much time, and you can train AI to respond the way you want it to. It's about refining that. So now with ChatGPT, you can say things like, from now on, whenever you give me a response, make sure it's always in bulleted form and abbreviated, because too long didn't read. ChatGPT, especially if you're a people pleaser, it is so easy to even get frustrated with it and tell it exactly what it is you want and how it is you want it, and it will deliver it to you. And if it doesn't, you say, okay, that was wrong. Again, I want this to be even more brief. Hear me clearly. If the response you get on ChatGPT isn't quite right, don't give up and don't get frustrated. Just keep asking it to refine its response. Explain to ChatGPT why it was wrong. Explain to it why or what it is you're looking for, and then say, now update your memory with this information. Now ChatGPT, I don't even have to say respond to or rewrite this in the words of Chalene Johnson. I've already updated the memory. Now it's speaking to me in bullets. It's speaking to me abbreviated. It knows I have ADHD. It knows how I write. So when it composes something, it's in my voice. If you're not using ChatGPT on the regular, you're going to get left behind in 2024, 2025. 2024 is over. But another AI tool that I've mentioned in previous episode of Build Your Tribe is Perplexity. And I love Perplexity. In fact, if I were to tell you to get one or the other, I think I would probably tell you to get Perplexity, because Perplexity includes ChatGPT. Now, it's not as easy to use, but it's more robust. Again, you're just going to type in your prompt, and then you'll notice in the upper right-hand corner, there's 3 little bars, and it says focus. When you click on focus, that menu will expand, and it gives you options such as academic papers, social sites, videos, or all. Like, you can literally just tell, I only want information that is published in academic papers. So if you're someone who researches or somebody who cites a lot of science or wants science to be broken down, Perplexity is an absolute must. Pay, again, upgrade to the paid version. And this isn't sponsored, but I'm telling you, all of these programs, you should just pay for the paid version. You won't regret it. And next, I want to tell you about Adobe Podcast. Like, this is an AI tool that I use all the time. Again, I would highly recommend the upgrade for the paid version. This is a tool that makes editing a podcast, it makes you sound like a pro. It makes it sound like you recorded your podcast in a professional recording studio. Even if you're recording outside and it's windy and there's lots of background noise, or maybe you're recording in a car, or you don't have a good quality microphone, you don't have access to one, and so you ended up having to record on your phone, which I do all the time. In fact, Wednesdays on the Chalene Show, I exclusively record from my phone while I'm walking outside and it's windy and it's noisy. So I'm going to show you a little sample of what this little audio clip sounds like. First, the original recording without any filter on it, like just, what it sounded like, plain, raw, recorded on my phone. So let's start right away with the basics. And if you're listening to this in real time, like it came out on Wednesday, you're listening to it on Wednesday, that means that Thanksgiving is right around the corner. I don't know why every bird and every dog and every cat in this neighborhood has decided to start making noise right now because I'm recording. Ugh. Okay, and now here's that same recording, and we've uploaded it to Adobe Podcast, clicked one button, and here's what we get. So let's start right away with the basics. And if you're listening to this in real time, like it came out on Wednesday, you're listening to it on Wednesday, that means that Thanksgiving is right around the corner. I don't know why every bird and every dog and every cat in this neighborhood has decided to start making noise right now because I'm recording. Ugh. Now, what's really cool about this feature is you can slide it accordingly. There's a little toggle when you upload the file and it's ready to be filtered. And it allows you to select how much of a filter you want to put on that audio recording. Now, if you filter it a lot, sometimes it drops, I've noticed it drops off like the end of my word because maybe I didn't enunciate all the way. Like I said, all the way. Like, you know what I mean? Like, your voice kind of drops off at the end of a sentence or the end of a word sometimes. So if you turn up the filter too high, it silences that. So you've got to play with it. There are times where I filter it heavily, and then there are times where I can't filter it as much because I wasn't speaking directly into the microphone. You also have to be careful if you're intentionally trying to pick up another person's conversation, and if you turn the filter up too high, it'll silence them. But if you're someone who doesn't have access to expensive equipment, you don't need it. You can make all of your audio recordings sound that much better with the click of a button. You don't have to hire an expensive, amazing, talented, good-looking editor like the one I used to edit, the two that I used to edit this show. In fact, you can just click a button and be on your merry old way. Because who doesn't have their own podcast in 2025? Like, everyone has their own podcast. It's the thing to do. And if you've been thinking that expensive equipment or an editor is what's holding you back, now you know you can use AI for the research, AI for the editing, and AI even for the SEO optimization. Yeah, put in the title for the show that you want to use into ChatGPT and say, give me a better title. Give me a title that's more clickable. Give me a title that creates more curiosity. Now, in your own words, you can describe what the show's about and say, okay, now rewrite this into a really fabulous search engine optimized description for my podcast. Like, these tools are like you've hired a team of experts. It allows you to get so much more done, so much quicker. Do not be afraid of AI. You got to catch up with AI, because if you don't, you're going to get left behind in 2025. Thanks so much for listening or watching this episode of Build Your Tribe. It is my goal to be brief, to be bright, to make it fun, and then be done. We're done. Bye.